welcome to Aldridge Parish Church's Children's Service for Christian Aid Week, which is this week. Normally we would be meeting in church and raising lots of money for Christian Aid, but as we can't meet at church and raise that money together, we thought we'd meet online. You can still donate to Christian Aid on the website if you would like, but today we're going to be focusing on this project's Letters for Creation. During today's service, we'll be thinking about how amazing God's creation is. We will be exploring what makes our world wonderful and good, and we will also think about what's spoiling our world and how we can work to begin to fix this. First, let's start with a worship song. Bethan and the worship team and some friends are going to lead us in singing Creator God.
Put the stars in outer space. You put the freckles on my face. And all the fish that swim and all the birds that fly, made from your incredible imagination. Creator God, we sing to the Creator God of all the world. Creator God, we celebrate you. He placed a heart in everyone, and all the music played and all the dancing done reminds us that we're made to be created by Creator God. We sing together, Creator God of all the world. Creator God, we celebrate you. Creator God, we sing together, Creator God of all the world. Creator God, we celebrate you. Creator God, we sing together, Creator God of all the world. Creator God, we celebrate you. We celebrate you. We celebrate you.
The very first story in the Bible is about how God made the world. The Bible doesn't tell us how God made the world. It's not a science textbook, but it does tell us so much about how God feels about his creation and the special place that human beings have in his heart and in his plan for the world. So, this is how it began. In the beginning, it was very, very, very dark. And then God spoke. God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God looked at the light and he saw that it was good. Next, God decided that there should be water on the land and in the sky. And so he divided the water into those two areas. And the water on the ground he gathered together into oceans and lakes and pools and puddles, so that in between there was dry ground. And God looked at the water, and he looked at the dry ground, and he saw that it was good. And out of the dry ground, God made plants to grow. Great big tall trees, tiny little plants, and gorgeous flowers, fruits and vegetables, beautiful to look at and delicious to eat. And each of those plants brought forth seeds so that new plants would grow after them. The earth was bursting with life. And God looked at all the plants that he had made, and he saw that they were good. And God made the sun and the moon. He made the planets, whizzing comets, vast and majestic galaxies giving light and warmth to the earth and changing patterns in the sky to mark the passing of the months and the seasons. And God looked at his enormous handiwork and he saw that it was good. And then God decided to make some creatures. And at his command, the waters were full of all kinds of creatures. They were swimming, they were diving, they were splashing, and they were jumping. And God also made some birds to fly in the air, fluttering and swooping and soaring, tweeting and croaking and hooting. And God looked at his scaly and his feathery creations, and he saw that they were good. And then God got very busy making all kinds of creatures on the land. Big ones, small ones, galloping ones, crawling ones, hissing ones, squeaking ones. Creatures of all shapes and sizes. And each of these creatures produced young the same as themselves. And God looked at the wide and vast array of different animals that he had made, and he could see that they were very good. And at last came the part that God was most excited about of all. The human beings. The human beings were a special kind of creatures. The human beings were made in the image of God, which meant that in some ways they were actually like God. Like God, they could think and love and imagine and create. And God gave the human beings a very special job to do too. He put them in charge of every other thing that he had made. Wow, what a huge privilege and what an enormous responsibility. So God took a long, hard look at all the things that he had made, and he could see that they were very, very good. And then God had a well-deserved rest. Well, I hope you agree that God's creation is very, very good. Next, we're going to have a little think about some of the things that we like best in God's world.
My favourite part about God's creations were the forests, for their beautiful colours and awe-inspiring creatures. Sounds of the Rainforest, COVID-19 edition, by me, Philippa Beddoe. The raindrops trickle softly, pitter-patter, they go, the hooting of the owls as they fly over low. the crunching of the rocks by the monkey's keen feet. The birds, they too, join in with this magic beat. We have a whole orchestra. I bet you didn't know. So let's not decide whether we are friend or foe. Unite together is the key. Wash your hands and stay happy.
My favourite part of God's creation is the trees and the forests because they're a calming place and they help me to feel calm.
What we love about God's creation are all the wonderful beaches.
Because it is our favourite place to spend with our family.
What I love about God's creation is the animals because they're loving, caring, majestic and strange.
What I love about God's creation are the beautiful trees that provide us with air, the beautiful beaches that we can go on holiday on and how they look glamorous in the sun. And I'm very thankful for all the plants that grow really tall and give us honey from the bees and all the insects around us. And that's what I'm thankful about from God's creation.
My favourite part about God's creation is kindness, the bond within people and the loyalty in others.
Christians believe that when God created the world, he gave humans responsibility to look after it, to care for it and for one another. Many people of all faiths and none share the belief that humans have a responsibility to care for our world. I wonder how we can look after our world well. Who do we need to ask us to help us to do this? Daisy and Delilah have made an amazing video to help us think about this.
This is Michael Jr., who lives in Kenya in East Africa. He is planting a tree sapling and watering it every day so it can grow tall, strong and green. He knows it is very important to care for trees. Sadly, because of climate change, many plants in Kenya don't get enough rainwater and can't grow.
This Christian Aid Week, you can help more children like Michael Jr. to have the water that they need to live life to the full. You could plant trees and help care for the environment. You could fundraise to help more children have a water dam and go to school. Or you could write a letter to politicians to ask them to care for creation just like Michael Jr. is.
Christian Aid and the Church of England want you this year to create your letters to creation, showing what caring for creation means to you. You could write a letter, but they don't have to be physical letters. They could be videos, photographs, poems, songs, posters, art, drama, raps. Anything is welcome, and the letter doesn't have to be addressed to anyone in particular. You need to get your things in by Friday the 22nd of May, and some will be chosen to be shown online and hopefully in an exhibition which will be launched later this year, travelling around various cathedrals. We'd also love to see your work at church, so if you could email myself, that would be brilliant. We've put all the details on the video, but I will also put them in the description of the video below.
Let us pray. Dear God, thank you for all the animals and for creating us. Please help us to look after your world better. Amen.
Dear God, thank you for all of your creation. Thank you for trees and forests, rivers and seas, deserts and rainforests. Thank you for the amazing animals that walk, fly and swim. We are sorry for the damage we have caused, such as plastic pollution, deforestation and air pollution. Please give us wisdom to help us save the planet by changing the way we live. Amen.
Thank you for joining us for our children's service today, and a massive thank you to everyone who has helped contribute to this service. Remember to send your letters for creation into both Christian Aid but also into us at church. We'd really love to see them, and hopefully we could share some of them with you. See you soon. Bye.
Creator God.